All right, hello again, Coach Chris Fox here with your Metcon now, Saturday's Metcon. And this is also a two-parter, so a little theme going on here. You've got two different 12-minute EMOMs with 4 minutes of rest in between. So you'll do EMOM 1. We're going to go for 3 rounds. I'll explain in a minute. After you finish that 12-minute piece, you're going to rest for 4 minutes and then move over to the other EMOM. So 2 different EMOMs, 12 minutes each, resting 4 in between. And they each have 4 movements. So for the first part, your first movement is going to be 12 hand-to-hand swings or 12 single arm swings each arm total, which would be 6 each arm. So if I've got a dumbbell, I'm probably not going to be doing a hand-to-hand swing. I'm going to go thumb up towards the top globe, and I'm going to keep that neutral grip with that rotation throughout. So my thumb stays facing forward the whole time. Again, I would do 6 on one arm, snapping the knee and the hip, and then you can place it down, switch, 6 on the other side. If you're feeling fancy, then maybe you do the switch, but probably with a dumbbell, I'm not going to do the switch over there. If you have a kettlebell, then you might feel more comfortable doing a hand-to-hand swing. And now I've got that little bit of rotation, but same thing at the top here is where I've got this moment of weightlessness, and that's where I'm going to do that handoff from one side to the other. So at the top, the palms come together, I release, come in with one side, palms come together, release, come in with the other side. So that's the first minute, 12 swings. Second minute, you're going to do 6 each side push presses. So if I've got a kettlebell, I want it to be resting on the forearm, the bicep, and the chest. I dip, drive, and then catch, dip and drive. Something I want to note here is that as I catch the kettlebell, I'm leaning back a little bit to support this. So this is different than if I were doing a dumbbell. I would try to land tall and dip straight down. If I've got a kettlebell, there's going to be a little bit of a catch into the knees and leaning back a little bit. And if it's a dumbbell, then the back lobe is on the shoulder, dip, drive, catch, drive. So from the side there, torso stays much more vertical. I don't have to lean back to catch the weight. Third part of your first EMOM is going to be a 30-second forearm plank. So forearms down, nice straight line through the body, ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, ear in a straight line. And we're maintaining an active shoulder girdle, so not collapsing through over there. And then on your 4th minute, the start of your 4th minute, you're going to go 30 seconds of max squats. And these are unweighted, right? So feet about shoulder width apart, toes out a little bit. I'm getting as much squatting done as I can in 30 seconds before coming back to the top and starting again with the hand-to-hand swings. So that's EMOM number 1, 12 minutes, a little out of breath. Hand-to-hand swings, 12 of those, 6 push presses, 12 total, 6 each arm, and then 30-second plank, rest, 30 seconds max squats. You're going to rest for 4 minutes after you do 3 rounds of that, and then move over to EMOM number 2. You've got 4 movements here also. The first is alternating goblet lunges. So grab whatever your implement was, hold it at the chest, and you're going to do alternating leg lunges. These can be reverse lunges, alternating legs. If you prefer, you could do forward lunges. Looks weird that my perspective coming in so close to my camera. Whichever one's gonna feel more comfortable for you. Generally, I find reverse lunges to feel a little easier on the knees, but forward lunges are probably a little bit more of a quad workout. So depending on what you wanna go for there, 12 total, 6 each side alternating. Then we've got 8 to 12 push-ups. The rep range is there depending on your proficiency in the push-up and your strength. So straight line, down and up. This can be 8 to 12, maybe like on the fast end, it's 1 unbroken set. But certainly for this kind of volume, it's okay to do 3, drop and rest, do 3, drop and rest. If you can get through 12 with minimal rest there and still have about, I'd say 15 seconds at least to rest after the push-ups, then you're good to go. If you need to modify to the knee or elevate to do your push-ups off of an elevated surface, then that's an option as well. After your push-ups, you're resting. The start of the next minute, 30-second hollow position. And this is written, I see in Keith's notes, as a bent hollow. So we're in this is the RX today. So I'm in this position where my knees are above the hips, my knees are bent, and I'm crunching up off of the floor here. So 30-second hollow. If this is easy, you can start to go one leg out, you can go both legs out, and you can go arms overhead. So like all of your gymnastics movements, the longer the body gets, the more horizontal you are, generally the more challenging it is. So start out with a tuck if you're not too sure, and then as you go into round 2 and 3, if you want, you can make those a little bit tougher, or if you started out too tough, then you can drop back and make them a little bit easier. Fourth movement in your second EMOM is going to be 30 seconds of max deadlifts. So I've got my kettlebell or I've got my dumbbell, whatever I have. I'm going to do 30 seconds, as many reps as I can. Same idea as the squats in the first round. I'm working for 30 seconds, trying to get my heart rate up, and then you're going to rest after that. I would recommend, because this is like a touch and go kind of fashion, to have something nearby so that you can do your deadlifts without crashing all the way down into banging on the floor. So this is a hinge. The hip's the main moving joint. The knees bend enough to get to the floor. If I've got a kettlebell, same thing. I've got most of the mass in the bottom. I'm touching this pillow that I've got under me and coming back up to the floor. And if you're pretty flexible, then you might grab the outsides of the dumbbell, and that will allow you to get a little bit closer to the floor. So basic deadlift hinge pattern. When you're working with one implement, like I think most of us are nowadays with a kettlebell or a dumbbell, the one thing that'll be a little bit different than if you're doing this with a barbell is your feet might be a touch wider to accommodate the weight coming in between the feet, as opposed to feet narrow and hands outside if you were imagining that you had a barbell in your hands, which you will eventually one day again. So to go through again the EMOM, first one, 12 hand-to-hand swings, rest, 6 each push press, rest, 30-second plank, rest, 30 seconds max squats. You do that 3 times, rest 4. Second part, 12 alternating leg lunges, rest, 8 to 12 push-ups, rest, 30-second hollow. RX is that bent position today, making it more challenging as able, and then 30 seconds of a max deadlift. So 24 total minutes of work today. Have fun. Have a great Saturday.